Hey, this is Will. What I'm going to do today is just a short contest entry for Reggie Simmons' contest. He basically just wants everyone to explain why they collect comics. And then I'll give a quick little update on my channel. I haven't filmed anything in a while. And, well, I guess I'll start with the contest part. Why I collect. Well, I have to. You see, when I'm dyslexic, and I was very blessed not to have the worst of it where I can't read at all. I actually can read very well. It's just not for long. Like, you take a normal novel or any just regular book, I can read 1, maybe 2 pages, but that's it. If I try to go farther, the dyslexia kicks in and the words start to jumble around, they change places, the different lines of text move together, they get fuzzy, and my brain can't take it and it wants to shut down, and I fall asleep actually. So it's very difficult to read anything when you can't really read but a couple of pages. So I always in school had trouble reading the novels that were assigned, or the chapter books, or what. It's been a while since I've been in school. The different things that we had to read. But I found from a very young age, comics didn't help me learn to read, but they did help me learn to read better. Because you have things like Superman is invincible, and the Incredible Hulk is incredible. And I was able to learn how to read and spell those words. You know, if not kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. And those are big words for a little kid. But comics helped me learn them. And I can read a comic book. Like, I can read a whole graphic novel cover to cover one sitting. You know, as long as I have the time to. Because the art breaks up the words in the word bubbles, and each bubble only contains so much. Especially nowadays, but even back in the silver and golden age when they filled it with text, it still was no more than a couple of paragraphs at the most in a bubble. And then you had art underneath and around, and then not only that, you had each panel that was broken up even more. And when you're dyslexic, color helps. And unless you buy a graphic novel or book that's intentionally black and white, like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hero Bear and the Kid, which is a great book. It's made mainly for children, but it's a great book. You should read it. It's not one of the big two, but I'm getting off on a tangent here. Color helps. Especially if you're dyslexic, because it's like it keeps your attention. And when you're dyslexic, if the words start to jumble around, you want to turn away. But the art, man, you want to look at that art as well. And as a Christian, I'm supposed to read the Bible. But I can't if I only can read a couple pages. The Bible's really big. If I can only read a couple pages before getting knocked out by my own self, how can I really read the Bible? So I eventually read it by not reading it, but listening to it, and on my phone with an app, and I eventually got through it that way. But then I found something called the Action Bible, which is basically the entire Bible as a comic book. And I was able to read the whole Bible, except, well, you know, the epistles. An epistle is a letter, by the way. Those books, you really can't draw. They're mainly instruction. So here's an example. They just texted, how do I say that? They just wrote it down. Yeah, we'll go with that in there. But for the most part, especially the Old Testament, it's a comic book. So I was actually eventually able to read it, which is awesome. So the reason why I collect is because it's the only thing I can really read and read well and enjoy whenever I'm reading them. So that's why I love to collect comics. And I just can't read very well on a screen. I mean, I can read fine on a screen, but I don't enjoy it. I like to hold it in my hands. And that's why I always love having physical copies of comics. And of course, you know, the ones that are worth money and all, they're slabbed, and you collect them, and you don't really read them physically, although some people do, because, you know, they're fragile. But that's the main reason why I collect, because it's all I have to read, really. I mean, that's all I've ever read. I mean, we've had a few things in class, you know, when I was growing up in school that you had to read, and I struggled with it, but I did read them. But aside from those, I've always read comics. And you also have your superheroes. You have the old classics illustrated, where you could read like Tom Sawyer and The War of the Worlds in comic book format. And they even have some non-fiction works that are in a comic book form. Best example is Stan Lee's book. I don't have it with me. I can't remember the title, but it's his life story as a comic. And it's amazing. I was able to read that book cover to cover because, like I said, it's a comic. It keeps my attention. Everything's broken up. The words don't just come at you. And I guess that's the main reason why I collect. And I didn't really want to read notes or anything. Otherwise, I would have done that. So I'm sorry for rambling. And as far as the update to my channel part, as of right now, I don't have a computer. I've always done everything on my phone. And it's not that I can't afford a computer, I just never had a reason to get one. So I would like to, I think I'm going to enter another contest, but aside from that video, I'm going to hold off till I get a computer and a better setup, where it's not just, you know, you see my Batman over there on the calendar, and a fan, there's a door, and a ceiling. I mean, it's kind of random. I want to have a better setup and do it better. Also get a different camera. That way my phone is free. So I'll hopefully be doing that in the next few weeks. And I feel like I'm rambling on again. Oh well. So thank you for, congratulations on the subscribers, Reggie. And I appreciate you and your videos. And thanks again for letting me send you that A-OK. And I guess that's where I'll end the video. So thank you all. Goodbye.